So with the launch of the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, Google unveiled a suite of functions and features that, at least for now, are going to be exclusive to the brand new handsets. Older models will get a few of these though through updates and Pixel feature drops. Here though is everything you need to know about these new features and what devices will get what. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe and then tap the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. One of the functions Google touted was clear calling for Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, and this uses machine learning to intelligently filter out background noise when you make voice calls. Sadly though, this is actually not available as present on the stable Android 13 builds for Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, but is expected to roll out over the coming months. Google's demo of that feature claims that your voice is enhanced while the caller volume and voice of the person you're speaking to are owned, so that you get to hear them better through the earpiece or even device speakers when calling someone hands-free. We'll just have to wait to hear for ourselves if this is the upgrade that it has been touted to be, but it is available as part of the latest QPR beta for Pixel 7 series, so if you want to test it out for yourself, it is supposed to be working. We haven't tried it yet, but it seems to be the case at this stage that it's in the early phases of development. Expanding upon the early live caption capabilities added way back with the Pixel 4 in 2019, audio message transcription goes a step further once again. It is very similar in nature to live caption for calls, which was added back with the March Pixel feature drop. For voice messages received in the default Google Messages application, you can toggle an option that will let you see a short transcript of any audio message received when using RCS chat. You can't see transcriptions though of your own audio messages, but any incoming audio is processed fairly quickly and turns into text messaging. In our experience, the transcription is not quite perfect, but accurate enough to fully understand the context, or at least content of an audio message, and at launch this supports English, Japanese, German and French, with more languages set to come later down the line. It is a really cool feature and something you should definitely try if you haven't done so with your Pixel 7 series device already. The super accurate assistant powered voice typing is also improved once again here with the Pixel 7. It's actually said to be 2.5 times faster, but the biggest inclusion is the ability to add emoji suggestions based upon what you've just said. So context-based emoji will appear in that text suggestion bar for even easier adding, but you can always just call out an emoji if you wish, like a dog emoji or a smiling face emoji, and it works with pretty pristine accuracy, we must admit. It's quite impressive to see this in action. We actually expected Google to add software-based face unlock to the Pixel 6 series when that launched. Sadly though, that was not to be, and although this isn't actually as secure as 3D face unlock, it is a welcome addition to the Pixel 7 series. The upgraded selfie camera on both devices enables face scanning on your Pixel 7 and 7 Pro to fully unlock your phone. It can be used alongside the in-display fingerprint scanner, but actually still can't be used for payments as it isn't quite as secure. In practice, it's really quick and even easier to enroll your face and features. It's also worth noting that this seems to have taken a place because the fingerprint scanner only now allows 4 fingers to be registered alongside a single face print for what it's worth. Coming likely as part of a December Pixel feature drop, Pixel 7 and 7 Pro owners will gain access to a free VPN as part of the on-device security suite. We're not expecting any added functionality. In fact, it's highly likely that this will be the same VPN service as you'll find or currently have access to as part of the 2TB tier of Google One storage. For those unaware, the Google One VPN adds an extra layer of security by moving your mobile data and Wi-Fi data through an encrypted channel. This does come with a minor speed loss when using Wi-Fi and even mobile data networks, but this is often negligible for the added security benefit, and it is nice to see that this is going to be an option later down the line. Google has said it will be available for the entire lifespan as well of the Pixel 7 series. That means potentially 5 years of protection for everything on your device when connected. Plus, you're actually not forced to use the service at all. Enable and disable as you see fit, and we're expecting this to come with a quick settings toggle like it does for Google One 2TB tier subscribers right now. The photo unblur feature is more so part of Google Photos than the camera system itself, and this gives you the ability to adjust or fine-tune your images with the help of machine learning. For older photos that lack clarity, you can apply the filter and effectively bring these images right back to life. It doesn't even matter if the image was taken on a Pixel phone. You can apply the photo unblur process to any image in your Google Photos library or even with downloaded images on your phone. The process can be adjusted and dialed up or down. That's important as it's not quite perfect depending on the image that you choose, and it's definitely something we suggest that you play around with to find the best setting to improve those older photos on your device. On Pixel 7 Pro specifically, there's also a brand new toggle that lets you adjust the screen resolution from 1080p Full HD Plus to 1440p QHD Plus. And because the regular 7 is capped at 1080p, as you'd expect, that option does not exist over there. Some of you out there might be hoping that this extends the Pixel 7 Pro lifespan, but this just simply stretches a 1080p image across the 1440p capable screen. Display pixels are still lit, even though it's not showing at 1440p, so it's actually unclear if there are any overall battery benefits, and in our experience, it really does make little to no difference, but it is a nice option to have nonetheless. Another one of the Pixel 7 features that might seem vaguely familiar is the expansion of quick phrases. In basic terms, this means you can use your voice to perform basic tasks on your device, things like dismissing or answering an incoming phone call when you don't really want to speak to someone. There's no need for a wake phrase, as your Pixel will show text prompts that will work without needing to activate the assistant. This new functionality means that you can now completely silence an incoming call or alarm alongside the existing answer and dismiss options that were added originally. For alarms, you can just say stop or snooze to cancel those too, which is another nice new addition for the hands-free capabilities of the Pixel series. The Pixel 7 series is also running the latest Google Recorder 4.0 build, and this brings the ability to change the playback speed of recordings. When viewing a saved recording, open the overflow menu and you'll find a new playback speed option within the increment immediately noted. This is not the most major of functions, but it is something that is currently exclusive to the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, at least for the time being. If you also use the Pixel launcher as your default on-device launcher, then you'll be pleased to hear that with Pixel 7, there are yet more updates and upgrades to what this at-a-glance widget can do. So basically, at-a-glance is a pretty smart widget in its own right, but it's basic at best. With Pixel 7, it features new options, some of which are set to come soon. The most notable you might spot right away is the expanded weather alerts that might show low to high temperature conditions or upcoming forecast snippets. We tend to see this first thing in the morning, although it can appear during the day. We haven't seen that on our own devices yet. Nest camera package delivery alerts are also coming alongside details on your travel arrangements. Things like baggage reclaim information are also said to be coming soon as part of that, but it is nice to see the at-a-glance widget gaining even more functionality. Google has yet to roll out spatial audio for the Pixel Buds Pro, their premier in-ear earbuds, but when available, it will be exclusive to eligible Pixel phones. Technically, there is nothing that would limit the functionality to the Pixel 7 series, but if limitations are in place, it will be available on the latest and greatest devices first. Spatial audio is not a new technology. In fact, it has been around under a few different names for a little while, and this goes beyond stereo audio and just mimics a sound within a 360-degree field around your head. This can give the audio a feeling of a position within your listening field and creates a bit of an extra immersion that is not often possible with regular audio, but at this point in time it's not available. We are hoping to see just how this enhances the already impressive Pixel Buds Pro audio though later down the line. Digital wellbeing on Pixel 7 has also a couple of new features baked into that familiar bedtime mode. Basically, you'll need to have a bedtime schedule set before some of these features are available. Once done, your phone can detect coughing and snoring while on charge at your bedside. Often this requires a wearable or even secondary device to work or track. This makes this extra addition a valuable tool for those that prefer not to wear a fitness band or even a smartwatch when they're sleeping. So when it's active, the Pixel 7 listens for changes in your breathing and you'll get a breakdown of your sleep in a morning. Within the Digital Wellbeing app, you'll see just how many times your smartphone detected that you coughed while sleeping, or if you did happen to be snoring. The only downside is that this function may actually detect the snoring of others within your bedroom, and this makes it a little bit of an imperfect solution, but a welcome addition nonetheless. As is customary when Google launches a new Pixel, there are a number of exclusive or timed exclusive wallpapers as well. So within the Wallpaper and Style app on Pixel 7, there is a new section called Feathers, which features a number of bird wing based macro shots. All in all, there are 12 to choose from in various colours and styles featuring various bird species. You can actually download these already without a Google Wallpapers app update, and we will leave a link down below if you do want to grab them, but this is technically exclusive to the Pixel 7 series, at least for now. So last year, the Pixel 6 series introduced a brand new camera system that included a number of major hardware upgrades. With the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, Google has just decided to tune and own this improved setup for 2022. Software is still a key component here, and that even means new functions and features that are going to be exclusive to the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro and likely not arriving on many other phones with updates. Of course, with the new devices, there's no dedicated macro camera available, at least on the Pixel 7 and specifically the 7 Pro. However, Google has added the ability to take close-up shots with the 7 Pro exclusively by utilizing the marginally altered ultra-wide-angle lens. This added field of view bump from 114 degrees on the 6 Pro to 126 degrees on the 7 Pro helps enable this mode. Sadly, as I mentioned, it is limited to the 7 Pro device. You can take pictures up to 30mm or 3cm away from subject, and when getting close, the camera shows a small yellow flower icon to indicate that macro mode is being active. You may also see a circular text prompt along the top portion of the viewfinder. Tapping though the yellow flower icon just quickly deactivates or reactivates macro mode as you need it, and the results are okay to say the least, given that there isn't any extra additional hardware added for the sake of adding extra lenses here. For the very first time on Pixel, you're now able to shoot 4K 60fps footage on every single on-device lens, including the selfie camera. Also on top of that, when using the rear camera setup, the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro are among one of the very few on Android and even iOS to allow you to switch between cameras while recording this 60 FPS frame rate mode. There are a few out there, as I mentioned, that allow this, so this is really nice to see Google taking or adding a little bit extra to their video capabilities. So last year, the Pixel 6 series was limited to 8-bit HDR for video recording in all frame rates and resolutions. This time around though, the Pixel 7 series features the ability to record 10-bit HDR video. HDR video offers higher contrast, or in basic terms, a greater colour and brightness range than conventional video content. The end result should be better colour separation within a scene and more emergent when you're watching this. This though is limited to 30 FPS on the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro at 1080p and 4K resolutions, and the output is in a H.265 or HEVC format, making playback on other devices potentially an issue. There's also the issues here as well with larger file size, so if you do want to try this out for yourself, be sparing with it and try and find a screen that you'll be able to watch HDR content on and enjoy in full. One of Google's major showcases for the enhanced Pixel 7 video was the brand new cinematic mode feature, and I would say think of this as portrait mode for video, as it adds fake bokeh blur effects in an attempt to mimic the bokeh fuzziness often associated with high-end cinema cameras. The result realistically is average at best, with sometimes poor edge detection ruining the overall look. It is also capped at 1080p, but the often cited cinematic frame rate of 24 FPS is adhered to here. I would say be sparing with this, as it's fun, but it's not necessarily a killer feature all the same. Night sight mode is said to have improved on the Pixel 7, and while that's up for debate, you do have more granular controls over the length of regular exposures using this low light photography mode. So when using night sight now on Pixel 7, you'll see a spot in the corner to the right of the in-camera zoom controls. Tapping this opens a mini exposure length controller. You're actually able to adjust this to increase exposure length for night sight, or just disable it entirely and use the default settings if you wish. Without a tripod though, this can be up to 6 seconds. In our testing, it can range depending on the scenario, depending from anywhere from 2 to 3 seconds, but it is nice to have this, as you can just choose how much of an extra exposure that you want from those low light photos. To help aid your camera usage on Pixel 7, there are also more prominent upper left indicators for modes, including the resolution, frame rate, and even the camera mode itself. In previous versions of the Google Camera app, you would just see a gear icon up here instead, and there may have been a little bit of guesswork to see what mode you're actually using. There's also, on top of that, motion mode has a new icon on the shutter button itself, presumably to indicate the increased exposure length. Long pressing that last shot preview, also on the bottom right, also brings up the ability to move recently taken photos and videos to the locked folder on your device. This section does require a passcode or biometrics for access, but it's nice to see that you can choose these things and categorize your images and photos after the fact, rather than having to go directly into the Google Photos application yourself and manage this manually. To help those with visual impairments, a new guided frame accessibility feature also comes pre-installed on Pixel 7 as part of the TalkBack service. You will need to activate this though in the accessibility section, but when using the selfie camera and this is active, you'll get audio cues and even some better visual framing cues and subject tracking for those with visual impairments. It is just lovely to see Google spending time on accessibility features like this, as it definitely sets Google apart from the rest of the industry. So Zoom has received a substantial upgrade on the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro, especially with that latter gaining an improved 5x telephoto zoom lens that is actually able to capture images up to the 30x zoom level. The Pixel 7 has improved 2x zoom using the main lens and extra software improvements when using that 50 megapixel main sensor, but to help with zoom control, a new granular indicator will appear when you start to pinch or tap to zoom to get a closer look at a scene using the viewfinder. What's more, when hitting specific levels such as 2x, 5x, 10x, 15x, and even above that, you'll actually get haptic feedback at these nodules to help pinpoint the right level of zoom. And it's a really nice added accessibility feature that makes you be a little bit more accurate with your zoom controls. Google has also expanded upon the real-tone skin recognition and processing to ensure that everyone is accurately represented when images are taken with the Pixel 7 camera system. Improvements to the feature mean that the Pixel 7 is supposedly better at reflecting the nuances of all skin tones in even more lighting scenarios and conditions, with direct integration with night sight and portrait mode now included. So you're probably wondering, what features will you get on your Pixel? And only a few of these will make it to older models. That is true. Some are going to be limited by the hardware, which means that only recent smartphones such as the Pixel 6 and 6a will be able to enjoy these new additions. But here is currently what we know. We do know that audio message transcription will come to all Pixels, right down to the Pixel 4a at some point soon. The at-a-glance enhancements are also set to come to all currently supported devices down to that Pixel 4a in sometime in the future. I would say expect Google Camera 8.7 UI tweaks to come to all supported Pixel devices in the coming weeks and months to ensure that any mode icon changes and functions do make sense to end users. But overall, it's not the features, it's the actual overall look and UI that we're expecting to see changes for. The spatial audio for Pixel Buds Pro is set to come to Pixel 6 and 6 Pro with a feature drop. We're not entirely sure if the Pixel 6a will get this, but it is a tensor-powered device, so we're expecting it to. That said, there's no outright confirmation just yet. It's also not clear yet if Face Unlock will make it the jump from the Pixel 7 to the Pixel 6 Pro. The selfie camera and usage of the Tensor processor, plus the ongoing work to enable the feature in previous beta builds, are certainly signs that it could arrive. However, it seems unlikely at this stage unless Google adds the functionality via a feature drop specifically for the 6 Pro. It's worth noting the enhanced real-tone tuning and refinements are set to come to the Pixel 6, 6 Pro and 6a later down the line, as Tensor is required for that enhanced image processing. Clear calling and guided frame functions are also set to be limited to Tensor-powered devices. That means 6, 6 Pro, 6a, as you know. Google has yet to confirm when these options, though, will arrive on older devices. Any features not mentioned are set to remain exclusive to the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. That includes a whole host of the camera improvements. However, Google has been known to add functionality much later down the line for older handsets, capable of accessing selected software features. So we'd say stay tuned. If something does change, we'll do our best to let you know. I want to ask you though, what do you think is the killer feature here, and what feature are you hoping to see on your device, especially now we've laid them all out for you? It's quite a big deep dive into all of these extra functions and features that do make the Pixel 7 the Pixel 7, if you know what I mean. Until next time though, I hope you enjoyed this run through. This is Damien with 9to5 Google, and I will speak to you later.